Very lucky to
That's,
have a whole lot of hair, that's for sure.
Joey, look at
that's
that
magnificent.
mane.
Welcome
Look at
to a glittering bones of the advertising type. We're here again. Today we're going to talk about stuff and we're going to ask questions and stuff. And it's going to be not about anyone's haircut, that's for sure.
No,
No, great cut, JD.
indeed.
I'm going to pass over to
Indeed.
you, my boy, for a little intro into your suggestion for this week's very, very tasty, might I say, commercial.
Oh, thank you very much. It's a revisit. It's a campaign. The next step in the campaign for Burger King, which we looked at, I don't know, last year, the year before, whatever. There was one that happened just after COVID or just during COVID, which we had a lot of fun with, and then there was a follow up after that, and then they've bought us this.
Victor's teacher is asking a lot of questions. Shouldn't he know this stuff? Simon wonders why Dad spent all this money on a new car, if only the front window's open. Aaron would like an uncle. Why can't Grandma and Grandpa have another baby? Francine noticed there are more grown-ups than children at this children's party. Alex saw Eric's mom with the world's best mom mug. But his mom also has that mug. What? He's confused. Is a cookie jar still a cookie jar if there are no cookies in it? Do some animals just not want legs? They're making baby powder? It's all a little confusing these days, my friends. The perfect days to try Burger King's plant-based long chicken that Dad says tastes exactly like a long chicken. Does this count like a vegetable?
Have a crack at that, if you will. Think you bloody put your laughing gear around that. Go on. Let me know what you think. Have a crack.
I really liked it. I found it a little bit long though. I was kind of like, come on. Where are we going? But I loved the insight or like the simplicity of a child's mind and just the things that they picked up on, like they make baby powder and like the confusion around like, is that a baby in the powder? Or like his mum's got a best friend, my mum's the best mug.
Yeah.
I was like, and I thought it was really sweet. I thought it was just like the innocence of how a child thinks. I thought was really lovely, but I think it was a bit like it kind of played on the confusing aspect of, the narrative and what they're trying to do. But I don't know if it quite connected for me in the end about like the chicken not being chicken. So does that make it a vegetable? I don't know. I see what they tried to do and I really loved the storytelling and the cuteness of it, but I was kind of like, I don't know today.
Well, there you go.
I'm going to sit on the fence. I don't know.
You're allowed to. That's right.
What about you, Gabaloo?
I did not love it.
Oh.
I don't know, it almost like came across kind of creepy to me. Like I was just a bit like the music and the cinematography was just like a bit eerie. I was like, what in the world is going on? And then I don't know, I felt like the last one made a lot more sense in the context of what was going on in the world at the time. This one, I sort of lost that context. So I was sort of like CARO at the end, I wasn't really getting the link. Like it just sort of fell a bit flat at the end. But in the spirit of saying something positive about ads this year, I am going to say that the acting of the children was like phenomenal. Like the amount of kids that had to be involved and like we know sometimes how difficult it is to work with kids. I think they actually did a really great job. And the voiceover of the young little one was just divine. Like the way it was not perfect, there was little stumbles in it. Like I thought those elements were really sweet, but holistically as an ad for Burger King, I was a bit like, very confused. Maybe that was the point.
Yeah.
I think perhaps my childlike mind, it just resonated with me so well. Like all of those things that you look at and think, it's a cookie jar, still a cookie jar if it has no cookie in it. Like to me, it's just clever, like so well written,
Yeah.
cheeky, a bit irreverent, you know, and then you get to the end and you do have this, you know, chicken burger from Hungry Jack's, which is probably the bit as well, which kind of, you know, it didn't really connect spectacularly. But yeah, I think for me, it was a winner and made me laugh and smile and made me think about all of those things as a kid. Like Caro said, is the baby, have we squashed babies and made powder, or is this the powder you add water to and that's how babies are made? Like,
Yeah. There was an
Just
innocence
really-
about it, which was quite sweet.
Yeah.
and like Gab says, the voice of the young girl reading it was so good, like exceptional. Just, and you know, whether it was a billion takes or whatever, I don't know, but it was just so clever and captivating, and you connected. And I think as a father of daughters as well, it really resonated with me too. That innocence, and you know, thinking about mine when they were that age, and you know, the questions you'd get asked of just, why is the sky blue? Like, I don't know, why is the sky blue? I don't know.
Yeah.
You know, the innocence.
I like that. I like that. They had me right from the get-go that Leroy's teacher keeps asking all these questions. Surely doesn't he know this stuff?
Surely he knows the answers.
Yeah, surely. All the way through to the two Santas. It's like,
Yeah, that was good, wasn't it?
How can there be two Santas? Like, what do you
How can
mean?
there be
Why are
two
they out
Santas?
now?
I thought it was a really lovely connection to the original one. So I knew that it was going to be a plant-based burger thing right from the get-go. So I liked all of it. My question would be, do you remember the first Qantas Still Called Australia Home ad where they had all the singers rather than the kids choir?
Yeah.
So they had Kate Sobrano and Jack Jones and you know, all of those types. And then they thought, well, we've got that idea. Now I just get kids to do it and people will fall in love with it all over again.
Yeah.
And I think for Burger King aficionados, I think this will work. But I understand, Gabs, that it was a little creepy. The little like you were expecting an axe murderer to come, you know, leaping out of it at some stage.
Yeah.
But no, I loved it. I thought it was like I do like that observational little, you know, is it still a cookie jar?
I wonder how they came up with it. Like, did they get heaps of kids together and just listen to them? Like, how did the writers think of each of those scenarios? Like, was that their childhood memories, or was that something that someone asked them of?
Yeah,
or,
good question.
you know,
Or
did
whether they just watched.
Did they just go and like sit in a
Yeah.
room with some kids and watch them? Like, it would have been an interesting kind of lead up, I reckon, to writing the script.
Yeah.
I know a couple of them are clever retakes of old gags, so that if they make coconut oil out of coconuts and almond oil out of almonds, what do they make baby oil out of?
Yeah, right.
But,
okay.
Yeah.
But no, I thought the construction of it just made me go straight back to that original. We're blowing our nose, and then we're touching our, like that whole. It just reminded me. It just makes me smile. Just because the first one made me smile. So, anyway.
Yep.
I've got you. The toughest question. I've done my bloody research here. Done my research, and I've got it. I want
a question.
bloody head scratcher. A head scratcher for you. Hardest question in advertising.
Yeah.
Would you? Sorry, there's a visual gag there for anyone listening at home. It's just magnificent. Would you rather work with children or animals? Dogs specifically, but animals. Children or dogs? Children, animals. Children.
Ask a clarifying question, JD.
You can indeed.
How old are the children?
5.
Good age.
Doesn't matter what age they are for me, it's a dog all day, every day, no matter what, no matter when, no matter how. I am working with a well-trained border collie from today until tomorrow, forever.
Very good. Very good. I like that, like the simplicity of that. We know what side of the fence you are sitting on.
Mm-hmm.
I'm working with kids. for
Yeah.
sure. I think historically I've worked with both, and I actually found the kids easier to work with. They're much easier to bribe. And I feel like the emotion that you can get from a kid's face or like a kid's action, I think is stronger than you can from an animal. Like you can get the doggy eyes and all that kind of stuff, but yeah, I'd pick the kids.
I've worked with both, and I agree with Caro that kids are easier in some aspects. There is some level of being able to reason with them and bribe them.
Yeah.
But I'm going with dogs because we all know that I'm a dog
Of course you
lover.
are.
Love a challenge.
What about you, JD?
I'm going to go with kids, but they're both fraught. I know I love a dog. I love working with a dog. I've worked with dogs before though, and quite often the dog trainer will overestimate the capability of their dog.
And quite often the parent,
they do, but I love
parent
that.
will as well. The parent will.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh
Yeah.
no, he's a natural talent. He is. He's a natural talent. Just look at him.
The thing that kills me about working with dogs though is that you want to pat them and play with them and you're not allowed to, because that like throws them off there. So it's
Yeah.
almost
Yeah,
like,
yeah. The talent. Don't play.
being
don't-
teased
don't
by all
talk-
these gorgeous dogs that you want to touch and you're not allowed to. I can't
Quick
control my
shout out.
hands. I want to get in there.
Quick shout out to a dog called Cooper, who's a border collie that we had the absolute joy to work with a number of years ago. And this border collie was the most intelligent thing I have ever come across in my life. And his trainer, who I can't remember her name, I can remember his name, but she was extraordinary with him. They were bonded, and this dog did things that you just would not believe. It was extraordinary. So for me, that experience alone, and then having worked with a myriad of kids and, you know, other people's children, you're trying to tell them what to do, you know, and you've got the mum there, you've got, you know, someone else who's there to try and help and get a sniff of what's going on with the kid in this commercial. You know, it's markedly different. Whereas if you have although our experience with cats as well wasn't that easy, I know.
That's not great.
My goodness, trying to get a cat to smile, that was fun. But great
That's
question,
the
Joe.
bottom of the
An
list.
absolute great question. Absolute ripper. For me, it's definitely a fur, and it's definitely a border collie.
Oh, there you go. All right. Well, glad to be of service. Thank you very much.
Okay, well, that's another edition of the Bones of Advertising. We'll be back next week. Don't go changing. We'll see you kids all again.
We will. See ya.